What's up, y'all? You already know what day it is. Y'all, it's not hump day, and some of us, it's not even Wednesday. For those of you who live a life of purpose, for those of you who are um, striving to achieve greatness, those of you who are grinding to get to the greatest version of yourself, today is no other day than Bridge Day. That's right, it's Bridge Day. And so, you already know this is a place where you can find a sense of purpose, a sense of direction, and find your way to the path of the life that you were created to live. So, um, Karate Kid Part 3, man. This has been an amazing, eye-opening series. It's spoken to me personally, and so, man, Part 3. So, let's do a recap of 1 and 2. We know that the first thing that God has given us is a dream, right? And that dream is something, a passion and desire He's given you as a child, as a kid, like He did myself with basketball. And then eventually that dream begins to get some long-term value. Like I said, vision gives your dream long-term value. And so part two of Karate Kid was the vision, right? You have a vision, you have a pathway of how you want to go about making this dream a reality. Just like the story of Joseph, which we've been talking about. The story of Joseph is in Genesis 37, 38, um, 40, 41, I believe, and I think it's and also 42. Yeah. That's the story of Joseph, of where he went from to where he ended up ultimately being, which was king over Egypt. And so, yeah, you see the background back here. It's kind of a city, um, kind of a picture of a city. And I have that background because I want to let you know that you own the city. You own the city of your dreams. You own the city of your vision. You own the city of all the desires that's in your heart. And so, um, like on Karate Kid, I've been saying this every Karate Kid video, but we already know Mr. Miyagi was the trainer and Daniel was the trainee. And Mr. Miyagi took him through a lot of hard labor and work, but in doing that, he was forming an art in him. And we've talked about how the routine things that you do on a daily basis, whether it's clocking in at work, if they're doing the same thing, right? Um, the same mundane thing. God is Mr. Miyagi. God is the trainer. We're the trainees, right? And God is forming an art in these everyday, it seems like reoccurring over and over tasks that we do. But God is forming an art in your life. The art of your purpose, the art of your dreams. Um, and I've also said too, sometimes these moments can build up a frustration. It actually frustrate you into the thing that you're created to do. Frustrate you into the greatness that lies within you. And for Karate Kid Part 3, man. So I want to give a brief timeline before I get into it of Joseph's life. Just a brief timeline of Joseph's life. And then we're going to get into this thing. So here's a timeline right here. And you can see how the early stages of his life, he had dreams and then he goes down and, he's in, looks like he's in slavery right there. And then it goes back up and he's in, promoted in the king's Potiphar's house and, doing things with excellence. And he goes back down and it's prison and all of that happens. And before he comes back up to the top again and he's, the king. And so, um, from this, we kind of go through these things in life too. And so today's thing, so Karate Kid 1 was dream. Karate Kid 2 was vision. But after the dreams and the vision, you have the dream, the vision. It's like my T-shirt I just got a couple months ago. I went to go see Eric Thomas, man. It was an awesome time. A shirt that I have, um, I got from there. It says dream, vision, and the last word says grind. Dream, vision, grind. And today obviously is the grind part. The grind part. You know, Karate Kid Part 3, grind. That grind. When you think about the word grind, yes, we think about grind like grinding up salt or grinding up something and making it into small particles and smashing it down, right? Another type of grind we know about is the grind that we use, and it's kind of become a slang word over the years. Man, I'm grinding. Man, he's grinding. She's grinding. Grind means that you're working hard at it. You're going hard. You're grinding. You're going against the grain. And when you think about grind, right, even the original definition of grind means to, put pressure on something to make it into smaller particles. There is pressures in life that come, and they're coming to grind, right? They're coming to uh, bring some opposition, some resistance, and how we respond to that. Our grind, that grind during that moment, is we got to also grind against that and be um, be the thing that we're created to be, even in those moments. Joseph, when he's in Potiphar's house, he was still like as if he was just working his way to the top just by modeling excellence in what he did. Then when he got to the jail, he actually became a leader in the jail, so to speak. Really, if we can, I pull that diagram up again of his life, you can kind of see that even in prison, he was, kind of popped up a little bit before he took another dip. But man, the grind of life, the opposition of life, y'all, the opposition of life, and that is what's gonna take you to the next level. That is what gets you to the point to reaching your full potential of who you are. Is the grind, man. And what's that look like? What does it mean to grind, right? That can mean a lot of different things. For a construction worker, obviously that means you're grinding, working as hard as you can in the field of construction. When it comes to a basketball player or a professional, whatever, you're grinding in terms of hitting the gym, putting up so many different types of shots. A football player working out, or a singer singing so many different tones and notes and working on their voice, exercising their voice. Well, what does the grind mean for some of us who are not maybe a professional athlete or not a construction worker, or maybe we're in the different fields where uh, this it's not our field of expertise. It's not our field maybe where we feel like this is where I'm ultimately supposed to be. What does the grind looks like, right? The grind looks like waking up early. You know, something that I've started doing is waking up early and putting time towards the desires and dreams and vision inside of me to uh, make that become more of a reality. It's one thing to have a dream, and inside of you, it's another thing to have a vision and actually take steps to make that dream a reality. But it's a whole other thing to actually put in the grind time and also the grind task that it takes to uh, have this thing orchestrated and organized in a way that it can build something for you, for your family, and for those surrounding you, friends, and everything. And so that's what the grind looks like. You might need to wake up early. You might need to, set aside 2 hours, 3 hours a day towards this specific desire and dream that you might have, and expand that vision. Vision starts, and you can see beyond where you're standing, but vision also expands. You see further, but you can also expand wider. And the only way you expand wider is that you put that prep time in. There's a scripture that comes to me right now as I'm thinking about this in Isaiah. I think it's 50, 54 or 53, one of those two chapters. But it says how it says expand, stretch out your stakes. A stake is what you put down, in the ground for a huge tent or something huge is going to be holding whatever is going to be held under it or event or something. But it says stretch out your stakes. It says enlarge your place of tent, enlarge your territory, so to speak. Stretch, enlarge that thing. When I think about that scripture, it also makes you think about, you know, think about two people who are expecting a child. They have obviously maybe 6 months left, 5 months left, or whatever, and you start to see the mom and the dad paint the room, put certain things in the room, and because they're stretching themselves, they're expecting, they're enlarging. They might go from a coupe, a coupe, two-door car to increase to a van, right? Or maybe a four-door car, but they're increasing everything because they're preparing themselves for what's about to give birth. And so I want to let you know, we're all pregnant with a dream. When we're born, we're born with a dream. We're pregnant with a dream, right? And that dream is there. But man, there's a time where conception happens, man. And there's a time for birth as also. But during all of that, there's this thing we call, obviously, women know more than I do, contractions. And those contractions are those grind moments. Still able to be able to dream and have visions, and still expect and enlarge even during the times of contraction, even during the grind times and hard times. And if you can, Joseph's life, as I pull that back up, Joseph's life, the timeline, you can see there's the contractions of his life, but it didn't change who he was. He still believed in those dreams that he had. He still believed in the vision that was coming alive in him. And eventually it did. And so grind, grind, grind. The Bible also talks about how faith without works is dead. You can have faith all you want to. You can believe that, oh, I believe I'm going to be great. I believe I can do this. I believe I'm going. But then it takes action. It takes action to make that faith alive. Yeah, you believe inside, but it takes that action, and that action is the grind. So it's your boy here at Bridge Day, your boy T. No hum days, only Bridge Day. Each moment, each second, each step is literally getting you closer to your destiny and closer to the greatness that's what's in you. And I'll holler at y'all next week, man. Karate Kid Part 3. This is the end of the series. We talked about dream, vision, and the third one, most importantly, is grind, baby. Dream, vision, grind. And I'll holler at y'all next week. Peace.